Well, good morning. It is Monday morning, day 191, and I'm completely flat. No opportunities live in the market at the moment. One opportunity I'm looking to get into, SIG1 trade, long on CAD Japanese yen, and for whatever reason, the market on ETX is not open or is not taking digital online bids or shorts for that matter. Offers for that matter. I'm bid on CAD Japanese yen. I'll pull that up in a moment. The COVID-19 virus continues to dominate the news. There were calls this morning in the UK for the Prime Minister to effectively lock people down. People were out and about socialising at the weekend. So there's calls to do that. I've got to go out this morning. I've got an interview, only meeting a couple of guys, going to be practicing social distancing most definitely, but do feel, I guess, a little bit uncomfortable about that. But I guess you've got to be sensible. The world needs to move forward, move on, but you've got to protect the NHS, you've got to protect your family and protect those around you. So very, very difficult times. So I'm going to be monitoring the markets this week, not rushing into anything, but if an opportunity does present itself, I'll be very sure to take it. So here's that CAD Japanese yen long, basically Z candle at the 3-year low. That Z candle also tested the 5-year low and rejected. We're slight offer in yen this morning. But that candle closed above the 3-year low. That's a viable entry with enough room to go. So if the opportunity presents itself and that market opens, I'll be taking this trade. And here we are in ETX, phone only for whatever reason, no opportunity to do this digitally. So I'm just waiting for this market to open if it does indeed open. So this morning we begin homeschooling the kids. Oh, crikey, phone's gone. Boys, homeschooling. You ready? Yeah.
Ready.
So as part of the homeschooling, what we're doing, the Joe Wicks PE with Joe. As you can tell, I'm not doing it, but these guys are. Right, let's pin the timetable up, Sam. Let's have a look. Let's have a look what they're doing today. Whoa, look at that, busy day. Oh, he's starting.
Here we are.
Here he comes.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to day number 1 of my PE with Joe, a 30-minute workout every single day, Monday to Friday.
And now we're getting his life history. Come on, Joe Wicks, come on. We're waiting. They've gone to sleep. They've given up, they've gone to sleep, he's taking too long. Come on, wake up, he's going to start soon. Here we go. Oh, a bit of spinning. Well done, guys. So what a beautiful day. Interview done, now back at the ranch. Time to get out of this clubber and back into teaching mode for the kids and back into the tracksuit. Well, it's a beautiful day, Tuesday morning, and last night at 8:30, the Prime Minister announced that we're going into increased lockdown in the UK, which means that technically you're not allowed out the house unless you're going to buy food, medicine, and you are permitted to, or go, if you need to go to work, but you should be working from home as I am, but you are permitted to go for one period of exercise each day outside, providing you're not close to somebody else. So that's exactly what I'm going to do, take advantage of the weather, maintain the mental health, and go for a run. Quite worried about this, not being for a run for a little while, but I'm going to crack on and get it done. In terms of the charts, I put on a short trade this morning in Euro US dollar on the same candle, was stopped out. Hey ho, follow the signal, sometimes that happens. Short pound US dollar cable. That's it. Just going to see how that plays out. None of the synthetic pairs or cross commodity pairs, commodity synthetics, are signaling due to my Mag 7. So a trade decision is to sit on the sidelines. we go. Queen Victoria lesson. Well, good afternoon. It is about 4 o'clock on Wednesday, day 3 of lockdown. If you could see my office, you'd see what an absolute tip it is. I am working on a whole host of different stuff. Just trying to use the time productively and positively. Being self-employed, my coaching stuff has pretty much dried up. I'm still doing the trading, of course, which is what this channel is all about. But I'm also working hard on a book that I've been kind of writing on and off for the last 2 or 3 years about my time in Japan on a special martial arts course called the Sensei course, which I did back in 2006, 2007. That's right. It's about 164,000 words as we stand at the moment. I've got a first draft. I'm just editing and fine-tuning that first draft before sending it to the proofreaders. So to be honest, that's taking up quite a bit of my time. It really is a strange environment at the moment. Only allowed to leave the house once per day for a brief stint of exercise, solo exercise. So I did another run this morning, which felt good. And I'm kind of looking forward to that because you do go a bit stir crazy in the 4 walls. Probably in a bit, because we've got the kids homeschooling, I'm probably going to do some exercise outside with them, but we shall see. Anyway, back to the markets. US dollar has weakened off. It looks over the past 24 hours. Who knows why? Possibly due to Trump's policy, I think, on how he's going to continue or not continue to deal with the COVID-19 outbreak. Always difficult to know why markets move as they move. The only thing you can do is to follow along when they do move. But my short in euro US dollar yesterday, I don't think I flashed that up yesterday, was stopped out. Here's the wife back from her period of exercise. Hi, just recording a video. Anyway, so yeah, that was stopped out. I'll put that up on screen in a moment. I also entered a trade on cable, that's also been stopped out. And I finally got into a long position on CAD Japanese yen. This signal showed up at the weekend. For some reason, the market was shut in ETX Capital, couldn't get in. But there was an opportunity to get long this morning. So I took that. So I'm going to run through those very, very quickly now. Then I think I need to tidy my work environment because an untidy work environment is not conducive to organized behavior, and trading is all about discipline, and I need to maintain my discipline. Okay, so here's the euro. Entered on the Z candle, just above or just pretty much on the center line of the daily trend line. And yeah, it just went sideways, tapped me out. My stop was pretty tight, a pretty aggressive stop. With hindsight, I always like to get my stop past the 50 simple moving average if I can, but due to this steep downward pattern, quite difficult to do that with the reward to risk ratio. So that's a loss right there. Cable. Ooh, there it is. Yep, very similar trade to euro. Pretty aggressive stop, not quite as aggressive. Stop was actually on the SIG1 low, 10-year low. Pounds at an interesting position as we speak. We are currently at, I believe, a 35-year low. The last time we were at a low like this, the bids came back in abundance, but it took them a little bit of time. So maybe this is the end of the downward trend. We're going to stagnate here and consolidate here. We're going to accumulate and then shoot northwards. Who knows? I do think there will be some pent-up energy here once the UK comes out of the coronavirus pandemic that we are in the midst of at the moment. Yeah, stopped out of this one as well. Another loss, but hey-ho, losses are part of the game. And then some slightly better news. My CAD Japanese yen long. This was a SIG1 signal that showed up at the weekend. Couldn't get long, now long. Bids are looking to be coming back quite a long distance to get to the next SIG1 level. And at the moment, this trade is in profit. But yeah, long way to go as yet. but the boys didn't fancy doing any boxing today, so we're just doing some bike riding, aren't we, boys? Oh, where are you? And social distancing at the same time. So you got to stay close to Daddy, okay? All right, let's go. Come on, Maxie. Whoa, wonderful. Come on, Charlie. Whoa. Well, good morning. It is Thursday morning, day 4 of lockdown. Yeah, I'm pretty tired, but I couldn't sleep. So I've got up a little bit earlier. Morning market analysis on the cards after a coffee and some quick breakfast. I've got a meeting, digital meeting, of course, at 8 o'clock. And then because we're homeschooling, I think we're going to do the garden this afternoon. So not a huge amount of time. I'm doing my trading stuff. I'm pushing on with my book, which now sits at, I think, 164,000 words, 340 pages of A4. So I'm doing the second run through now. I think I've reviewed 60 pages, and trying to piece all of that together and hold it in your head at one time is always a difficult challenge. But it's keeping me occupied and keeping me focused. So we're nearly into the weekend. Not that that means much. It's going to be pretty much the same as any other day because, not really allowed to leave the house apart from exercising once a day for the next 2 and a bit weeks at the very least. So trying to stay positive, trying to stay motivated, off to do the morning market stuff. And there we are, ahead of the game today. In about 10 minutes, we've got the NHS clap in support of the NHS workers that are risking their lives on the front line in this coronavirus crisis that we're currently in. So we're going to do that. But just before we do that, I'm going to show you these quick trades on screen. So this morning, put on a short trade on US dollar Swiss franc, Swissy. Interesting trade. See the turquoise lines? That's the weekly trend line down. This was a Braveheart strategy, a close below the 200 simple moving average, and it's been all negative action all day, or positive for the Swiss franc. Looks like we're going to get a close under the 50 simple moving average overnight. What that means tomorrow, I'll add to the position, have the opportunity to add to the position, and looking for a move right the way down to the bottom of the trend line. Here on the weekly SIG1 trade, CAD Japanese yen in positive territory. Bit of pressure today. This again, interestingly, looks to be at the bottom of the weekly trend line, which could mean we could get a push back up, but a retracement back up. But as always, time will tell. Just looking at this for kind of curiosity purposes. Don't need to make a decision on this until the end of the week. But that's the only other trade that I have in play.
Onto your balcony, whatever works for you. Just get out there to say thank you to all the workers for the NHS and social carers. Hi to...
Okay, so here we go. 2 minutes, 1 minute, ready for the big clap. We're going to see who else is clapping and see if we can hear clapping all around the streets here in the UK. It is Friday morning. Nice day outside, but can't go outside. Well, I can. I'll be going for my one dose of daily exercise in about an hour's time. About a 40-minute run, some stretching and whatnot outside, and then back to lockdown. But just got to keep pushing forward. I was up again this morning, of course. Morning market analysis, and overnight US dollar, lost my train of thought here. US dollar, Swiss franc, bearish territory. Now I'm shorting. I'll show you this in a second. That's kind of mixed things up a little bit in terms of presenting some of the cross pairs as opportunities to trade, although nothing is showing up at the moment. I've entered a long position on Australian dollar, US dollar. US dollar struggling a little bit. Big stimulus package announced, I think it was yesterday. And the US has now, according to the news this morning, seen the worst number of COVID-19 cases of any country, even worse than Italy. So yes, not quite sure what's happening over in the US, but certainly worrying times for them and for all of us. But what I'm doing is I'm not responding to the news. I'm ignoring the news. What I'm looking for is, are the signals showing up on my charts in line with my rules? And then I'm trading those signals as they turn up. Always looking at my risk, not going excessive, sticking within my risk parameters, and then trading the opportunity as long as I possibly can. Yeah, it's business as usual in the markets. And while, employed status, self-employed status, people are forced to kind of work from home and rely on government support packages, which is a very worrying time. What I'm trying to do is to utilize the markets. There is always a market open and always a market to trade. The UK government yesterday announced support for the self-employed. I am self-employed. But we are now at the end, pretty much at the end of March, and even if you qualify for this, you would not get any cash in the bank until June. So, that's what, April, May, that's 8 weeks away. So, cash is king. People need to pay their bills. So that help package, while it may be some help, I think is too far off. But anyway, we are where we are. We're all in very, very difficult times at the moment. Anyway, let's revert to the charts. I'll show you the two trades that I'm in. CAD Japanese yen SIG1 trade long, still in, but I won't pull that one up. I'll show you the other two trades: US dollar Swiss franc and Australian dollar US dollar. So first up, Swissy. This was a short yesterday, Braveheart strategy. I added again last night. I did that just before the 9 o'clock close of the candle because there's a time difference now between the UK and the US. It's not 10 p.m. close, it's 9 p.m. close. So I took the opportunity. We were definitely going to close below the 50 simple moving average as part of my signaling system. I can add to my position if we close below the 50 simple moving average. So that's exactly what I did. This is the weekly trend, which is down the turquoise lines. So looking for a push down to the bottom of this range. So Aussie was a bit of a surprise, I guess, yesterday. This is, bearish territory, downward daily trend line, but now broken through that, broken above the 50 simple moving average. And this morning I entered a long position. Now, I wouldn't necessarily think of entering a long position if I just listened to the news, but the price action, it's higher highs, lower lows, higher highs, lower lows. Made a higher high on my signal signal candle. So I've got long, and there's a really good prospect. I think that we could get up to my target, which sits just below the 240 chart, 200 simple moving average. So yeah, I think if I was to interpret the news, which is always dangerous, I think that is due to the stimulus package in the US weakening the currency. Obviously they cut interest rates, I think it was a week ago, by 1%. Now a big stimulus package, so weakening the currency. And of course there was, as I said earlier, in terms of COVID-19 cases, they are now, unfortunately, in a position where they have more than anywhere else in the world. So the US possibly in some trouble, but that could explain the weakness. Yeah, anyway, I'm bid on Aussie, and we'll see where that gets to. Well, it's official.
What is that?
Homeschooling is not working. Homeschooling is driving me slowly insane. The kids are going crazy. I'm gonna have to take them out for a bike ride. We'll just have to stay away from everybody else. I think, judging by their current behaviour, people will want to stay away from us anyway. Having said that, the 2 trades that I'm in, apart from the SIG 1, I've not looked at that. I'll look at that at the weekend. They're performing pretty well. US dollar, Swiss franc, Swissy progressing south, and Aussie dollar just breaking to the upside now. And I'll pop those up on screen very briefly. Quick look at the Swissy, US dollar, Swiss franc, second position today. Now look to be trading down, maybe, there's the kids, maybe towards the bottom of this weekly downtrend. Aussie dollar, the Aussie looks to be an XY candle forming, not closed as yet, we'll close at 5 I think, breaking to the upside. Of course, as it breaks, this is on the 240 chart, those people that were short, their stops are hit. Stops being hit is a buy order, short position, stops being hit is a buy order, and that, I believe, is what is fueling this upward momentum now. Whether we'll get up to my target by the weekend, who knows, but it's good to see that. Good to see that starting to happen.
I'm crazy!
That's true. So it's Friday, around about 6:10, come out of the house. It's not as quiet as I thought it would be. The co-op's still open, the takeaway's still open, which is why I'm here. But it does look like the etiquette is 1 in, 1 out. Yeah, kind of life goes on as normal as it can do. Just before I left, check the markets, Swissy down, Aussie up. So could be a decent finish to the week. Aussie was troubling me for a little while. First, I think 8 hours of the trade, but going to get close above my entry, and looks to be breaking new northern territory. So in a world where it's mostly bad news at the moment, I guess at least I can take some comfort from the fact that the 2 trades that I have on, aside from the SIG 1, which I need to check at the weekend, seem to be going in the right direction. Go on, go on, go on, show me. Maxie's first Thai boxing lesson, and he's already gone shy. Never mind. Come on, Maxie, let's go, let's go, let's go. Yeah, right foot, go, go, go. Right. Good boy. Right jab, good, good, good. Right, left, right, good, good. Right, left, right, left, right.
Okay.
Go.
Hey, just
Go, go. Look where you're punching. Good. Right, let's go. Old school Thai boxing training on the tyre. Okay, let's do the legs. Let's do leg blocks. Let's go. Go. Up.
Oh,
Legs block. Left leg in front.
left leg.
Yeah. Raise your shins. Boom. Inside your elbow. Your hands by your chin. Look up. Look at me. Go. Go. Yeah. Go. Yeah. Go. Yeah. Go. Yes. Good. Managed to tire the kids out today. Maxie, did I manage to tire you out today? The boxing? Yeah, good, good. So the clocks have gone forward, so we're now back with New York time, which is good, albeit these clocks behind me have stopped, but these clocks above me are still going, so I need to change the batteries tomorrow. Yes, so I've done the weekly market analysis. It takes me about 15-20 minutes. Just done that now. Pulled up the weekly charts, looked at whether the candle was up or down for last week, filled that in terms of weekly relative strength, and then look at the weekly price action in relation to the simple moving averages, and that's all logged. In terms of trades, I'll pull those up in a moment, but basically got 3 trades on. CAD Japanese yen long, US dollar Swiss franc short. CAD Japanese yen is SIG1, so on the weekly chart, and then the other trade, Australian dollar US dollar, on the 240 chart. So saw the news today. Not that I trade the news, but sometimes the news can help or hinder. That Australia had seen a decline in the number of coronavirus cases, so it'll be interesting to see if that sends bids into Aussie. On the open, the US is struggling, in particular New York. So when people are in a market where there's lots and lots of risk and they don't know what to do with their money, there's this fluctuation back and forth. So we'll see how that plays out. But before the market opens, let me just pull up these charts and I'll show you where we are. First up, CAD Japanese yen. This was slightly bearish last week, but held the 3-year low. I bought off this Z candle midweek. Couldn't get in on Monday. Market wasn't open in my platform, ETX Capital. We are at the bottom of the weekly trend line. There could be a retracement, so I'm looking to hang on for that and see where we get to. US dollar, Swiss franc, Swissy, short, added once, added twice, or entered once, added once. So 2 positions, roll the stop now. This trade is now a profitable trade. Yeah, it's a risk-free trade, looking to trade down into this level. But again, see where I get to. This is on the daily chart, rolling the stop 20 pips behind the daily candle close, which interestingly just corresponds with a 50 simple moving average on the daily chart. Aussie had that break above the recent high on Friday. So yeah, looking to hit target under the 200 simple moving average up here on the 240 chart. Trend trade strategy, and that market looks to be nicely trending now. So again, probably looking to roll stops potentially as we move towards that target level, but for the moment just keeping things as they are. So that's it, weekly market analysis done. Gonna watch a bit of TV tonight and get some quality sleep, hopefully. Wake up nice and early tomorrow to get started with another week.
Closed doors, I'm a fool for your love.